Hey kids, welcome back to the Otter Creek and Rio Grande and another, I guess what you would call work video. Now, I've got a list of things that I plan on doing, and I've recently discovered that apparently the good YouTube content creators always show you what they're gonna do before they do it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with a preview of what's going to happen. We're going to plumb in the DB150. We're going to run wire from it to the door. Then we're going to run wire from the door, over the door, to the plywood over here. Then we're going to run wire all the way through the ledger board over here to Malta. And then we're going to plumb in a circuit breaker somewhere right here in the middle that we can disperse the bus evenly throughout Cloud City. And of course, before we do any of that, we're going to have to release the bus line here so that we can back drag it towards the control center. It's time to get started. And the first thing I want to do is disconnect this drop of wire here, and there's 2 or 3 other places where it's connected to Cloud City. I'm going to release all that so that I can pull it. And the far end back here behind me is what's going to go to the booster station. I've got the wire ready to go. Now, of course, it's not long enough, I don't think, to travel the entire length that I want. But ultimately, it's going to be in 4 different segments. A segment from the booster to here, over the door, and then to the circuit breaker, and then to Malta. So that's kind of the idea. And I'm going to go ahead and go off inside here and rig up the booster. And I'm not going to try and film that just because it's just not conducive to good filming. So I'm going to do it, and then I will try and come back and show you what I did and maybe explain some things in there. I've got the heavy lifting, so to speak, done with the wiring. I've got the boosters in, and I've got it all configured appropriately. And then you know, despite going in there and trying to clean some of that stuff up, there's just only so much you can do, I suppose. But this right here, that's the bus line going out, and I'm still loose on the far end. But everything's, you know, ready to go. I have run into a problem though, unfortunately. So the new power supply that I got for the DB140 has got the barrel plug on it. So this is my only barrel plug adapter, and apparently it has some kind of short in it because it absolutely won't power on the DB150. I have taken the power out of this 150, put it in that one, and it works perfectly. The power supply I got from Iron Planet Hobbies, hashtag no sponsor, but I did save about $4 by using the coupon code HUMAN. So I have no reason to think that that power supply is not working. So I'm pretty sure that it's this thing. I've ordered 20 more. I don't know that you can get anything other than, you know, cheap China crap when it comes to something like that. I've ordered 20. Hopefully one of the 20 will work. So now, I think that I mentioned in the previous video that, you know, I wasn't sure about power and or, you know, I've got these 4 switches here that, You know, I was wanting to add another one here so I'd have another on-off switch for Cloud City and Malta. I think I've made the decision that I'm going to go ahead and get some smart plugs for a couple different reasons, and I've already ordered them. So the power for this is still going to be over here that turns the booster on, but all of the other electronics will be powered on through some kind of app. I don't know what I'm going to use yet or exactly how that works because I haven't delved deep into it, but that's definitely what I'm going to do. That way, the only thing going over the door is going to be the DCC. So I think that's going to be the next thing I do, is shore up the bus going that way and then work on going over the top of the door. kind of a milestone there. I've been thinking about doing this particular part of the wiring for a while now because I just wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do, and so I think it worked out pretty good. As mentioned before, I'm not going to mess with any power cables coming through there. Now this over here, there's a plate there where my my Ethernet cable comes in, and that's just sitting there. What's going to happen there is I'm going to have to get a piece of 1x4 that goes all the way up and then notch it, because I'm not going to cut that Ethernet cable again, so that I can pull the plate out and then slide in the 1x and then put the plate back on, and then you'll never know that it's been notched. All right, so I guess it's on to the next phase. I think before I do that though, I'm going to take a little break. Some time ago, Roy, Container Man 69, contacted me and asked if I was interested in a couple of narrow gauge structures that he ran across. And because I had some money in the account that comes from the coffee buyers and the channel members, so I didn't bat an eye about going ahead and picking up both of them, even though I wasn't 100% sure if they would work for the railroad. So this is the Carson and Colorado Railroad Laws Depot, and it is historical scale miniatures, San Gabriel, California. I'm relatively sure that they are no longer in business, but you can see this originally was a $6.95 kit. And I've looked through it, and it looks like a really nice kit. I think, unfortunately, it's pretty big. These are scale appropriate drawings, and I've already kind of hit it with the scale ruler, and it looks to me like the inner structure, the main structure, is about 20 feet wide by 100 feet long, and then from dock to dock, it's about 41 feet. So I'm not 100% sure that I can make that work in Maroon Creek, which is where I wanted this to go. So I think the next step with it would probably be to build a mock-up, or at least maybe a paper flat template, just to kind of move it around in the area to see if I can make it work. If nothing else, one of the things I really like about it is it's got this dock. So, you know, if I choose not to build the whole thing, you know, because an option would be to scratch build something off of the plans, maybe just a little narrower and a little shorter, but these are good templates. So pretty cool. This depot is originally from the Carson and Colorado Railroad, the CNC in California, and it was a narrow gauge railroad apparently. I don't know much about it, but there's some pretty good history in here. Now, in addition to the Carson and Colorado Freight Depot, also got the Ophir Depot from the RGS, and same manufacturer. This one cost a little more, $9.50, and I think it's all there. The box, as you can see, is a little less for the wear, but it's a smaller depot, and I think I might like it up in Hell Gate. Same thing going on with it, where it's got full scale drawings. It looks to me like there's a total of 14 different walls, and this is obviously a true craftsman kit where you get this material with no doors etched out, no windows. You have to cut them yourself, and comes with this wonderful material for your window glazing, and I guess the frames as well. I will not be using that if I choose to build this. I will use appropriate windows, probably from Grant Line or something along those lines. But I think it's all there. I hope it's all there, because this one measures 25 at the widest in this area right here, and then I think the total length is somewhere around 65. And even with the total width, there's just a little bit more overhang of the 25, if I understand it right, where, you know, that's basically the footprint. Maybe 25 plus whatever your standards gauge needs to allow for track, if there's track either the front or the back side. So thank you, Roy, and thank you for the subscribers and the coffee buyers that makes this kind of thing an easy decision to make. What I've got here is the PSX circuit breaker, PSX1, and I just got finished soldering in the speaker there. And I don't know, there's probably some people that don't like having the layout scream at you whenever a short happens, but I kind of like to know immediately when a short happens. So most of these I've got on the layout, I've got the speaker installed. I don't have them installed on Silver Gulch or Frying Pan, and the reason why is I'd like to remote mount the speakers so that, because right now they're right beside each other, you wouldn't be able to tell which one is which without also an LED. So I'm planning on remote mounting those speakers sometime in the future. So this is ready to go, other than I do want to mount it on a piece of plywood here. If I mount it here now at the workbench, it's just a lot easier to do than trying to do underneath the layout. And I just need, you know, a couple of screws in this, and it will mount right straight to the ledger board. So that's what I'm going to do now, is just figure out how I'm going to mount this. think that is game for this weekend. I've pretty much done everything I can do with what I've got on hand. You know, when I first decided I was going to do this project, I really thought that I had 2 circuit breakers. I only had 1. So, you know, the first thing I ordered was a circuit breaker for Malta, which will go in right here, because the bus line is all the way in it. It runs all the length of the L girder back there and then drops down here and comes in there, which I think I've already shown you. But that circuit breaker needs to go in. I'm waiting on the power barrel adapters for my DCC, so I need to do that. I still have some wiring to run underneath here so that when I come from the circuit breaker off of the bus line for cloud, I need to run that bus line as well. And you know, I've got smart plugs coming that I'm going to mess with, which, you know, I don't need any electricity for cloud at the moment, but I am going to do some other things that I want to get done before I get real serious about working on the spline up to Hellgate. So we're going to call it quits here. I've got at least one more probably full video of kind of this project I've got going on here in cloud, so I look forward to it. We'll see you around. Thanks for watching, guys.